What up, YouTube? It's Two Fat Guys Pull Us, and before we get to our video, we wanted to let you know about our Milestone Giveaway for 1,000 subscribers.
We are giving away an Amazing Spider-Man issue number 4. This is the first appearance of Silk, the original Sin tie-in. I'm sure everybody is familiar with this book. This is a CBCS 9.8.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so...
Big boy.
This book is much hotter than it was when we first bought it for the show.
Yep, that's true.
You insist on still giving it away, and I'm very happy to do it.
You can tell that he is not. But anyway, we are giving this away when we hit 1,000 subscribers. Kick-ass, key issue, first appearance of Silk, is someone's going to win this book. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and let's get to the video, shall we? What up, YouTube? It's Two Fat Guys Pull Us, and we've got some breaking comic book news from DC. DC announces Dark Crisis as its next DCU event series from Joshua Williamson and Daniel Sampree, spinning out of the upcoming Death of Justice League 75, I believe it is, right?
75.
Interesting.
Yeah, what I think is even more interesting and kind of cool, because DC has always been lacking in the free comic book day, is that this event is actually starting with
on
a free
comic
book day. So
yeah,
nice.
which will be fun, because that's automatically going to be like our top, our top 10 or top 5 pick for free comic book day for 2022. But breaking down this announcement, this next big event is spawning out of actually Infinite Frontier Zero. So we've been building up to this Dark Crisis event, which I think we all kind of knew something monumental was coming. This is our first Crisis event as comic book readers, like it happening actually live, or however you want to say that.
Well, happening while we're reading, but I actually still haven't read a Crisis event. Have you?
No, I haven't either. I know. So I don't know what to really expect. I mean, I guess I kind of have an idea because we've read about it. We've, there have been mentions of it since we've started reading DC. But the crazy thing about this is, like they said, this is spawning out of the major death of Justice League. Like, obviously, there's been seeds planted since Infinite Frontier Zero, but the big event that it's kind of wrapping itself in is the Death of Justice League. And I think we both, when we did the Death of Justice League video, and we don't know quite what to expect with that, seems like they're going to be gone for a decent amount of time.
I wonder if this is a writers and editors respin on 5G. You remember
Maybe.
when, a year and a half ago, before Future State and all that, we were thinking that they were talking about straight up killing all of the legacy characters and letting new people fill the roles. I wonder if this is, a little bit of that still left over, getting rehashed and reworked into current continuity.
It seems like that, because when Williamson was in the the YouTube video announcement, a lot of emphasis was put on these new holders of titles. So like John as Superman, Robin, Shazam, Flash, all these characters, Aqualad, Wonder Girl, they're all kind of, they're shadowed by their counterparts, and they're going to be gone. So it's looking like we're setting up a new Justice League, or maybe after this event, this is what the Justice League will look like. I don't know how I feel about it. I guess let me say this. If this Dark Crisis event gives us a new Justice League with these current heroes that we're talking about, and Tom Taylor's writing it, let's go. Let's go.
Well,
I know that's not in this. I know that's not mentioned in this. I know Joshua Williamson is more of like the current head. We've kind of put him as the current head of the DC comic book department, but it just because he's got so much that he's doing.
Yes. So before we get to the nitty gritty of our personal opinions, I think there are a couple of things that are a couple of factual things to keep in mind or be aware of. One is that the event starts with Free Comic Book Day Special Edition, which comes out. The full thing is Dark Crisis number 0, Free Comic Book Day Special Edition. That comes out May 31st.
Okay.
And then after that, we are getting another one-shot issue, Road to Dark Crisis #1.
That's right.
So, and during that time, we're getting a lot of writers that are currently, writing DC continuity, aka Philip Kennedy Johnson and a bunch of other people who aren't as good as him.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's that, and then there's something else that I find really interesting is they tell us that this is going to be a 7-issue event, and very specifically, it is going to be released monthly. So this is something that is going to start in June and is not going to finish until January 2023.
My goodness.
So this is going to, if they do it correctly, which again, this is what we're going to need to talk about, which we might be worried about, but this is going to consume DC continuity for the rest of the year.
My goodness.
For an entire 6 to 7 month period.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yikes. So when we talked about doing this video, you immediately were like, what's this going to do to continuity with current ongoing series? A la Batman, Superman. Superman kind of makes sense. Robin, Nightwing, Wonder Woman, Flash, Justice League in general. I think for me, the biggest one is Batman. He's off currently in Europe. We assume he's coming back to Gotham.
Well, he'll for sure be back for the Deathstroke crossover.
Right. Which seems to be much more important now. I would assume. I mean, like, if you look at some of the promo art, let me scroll back up here.
Yeah,
promo art, we've got Batman and Deathstroke together.
Yeah,
kind of. So something's up.
You know who else is front and center with the apparent leaders of the heroes? What looks like could be our second iteration of Justice League, and it has me screaming mad. Hal Jordan.
I knew you were gonna.
What
knew this
is
was
this
gonna happen.
dumb Silver Age old racist dude doing in the middle of all of our kids and our cool new legacy characters? Where's Jo?
Jo's in there, but she's not. She
is tucked in the corner with
just saying.
a bunch of other people that we don't care with Red Hood. Yeah, okay, they are not on the same level.
Look,
Rude.
man, I'm not saying you're wrong in what you're saying here. I'm just saying she's there. She's just not in that core.
I understand, but like literally, he is technically the centermost character besides Batman and Deathstroke. Like he's center mass. He is the first thing you see when you look at.
I get it. I understand.
Hal Jordan.
Hey, man, he might just be there right now, but later on down the road, Jo comes in. You can't. They're just trying to. I mean, if anything, it's a slap in the face. In my opinion, it's like, oh, Hal didn't die with the rest of them. Well,
here's what I think is the real slap in the face, and is really is scaring me about what it's going to do with continuity.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's going to mess it up or whether it's just going to tell the current writers like what you're writing on doesn't mean anything. Is that John is dying with these characters that we assume is dying as part of the Justice League, but he literally in the Green Lantern book is like becoming a god right now. He is literally getting endued with basically the power cosmic DC version.
Okay.
And what, he's supposed to get all that power and then die? It just doesn't make any sense.
No, I hear you.
But the same thing how is working with Superman too. What, he's going to do the entire world saga, and the second that's over, they're like, "Oh, good job, now you're dead."
Well, and we've talked about this before. I've always asked you, like, okay, so you've got Justice League going on, right? Mm-hmm. And then you've got Superman's off-world in Action Comics, and he's aging out, and you have John as the new Superman, and you're like, oh, well, it's just different. It's happening at different times, or you know what I mean? But to me, this crisis event kind of just reshapes that argument of like, well, when are these things happening? When are these single books happening? And when is Justice League happening? Because, if you're going to flash forward and Superman's dead and John's alive, okay, so what's happening in Action Comics during this time? And I'm sure we'll get more answers, but to me, I don't think anything's going to change in the ongoings. It's like, it's almost as if this is like an alternate, I don't want to say alternate reality, but it's just like some books just don't give a shit about what's going on in the massive DCU event space.
Yeah, I see. I mean, I see what you're saying, but it's like,
I'm not saying it's right.
no, and if the War World saga is still going on while this event goes on and Superman's supposed to be dead, I can suspend my disbelief and say, okay, this is just wrapping up the story of an event that happened before Dark Crisis. But like, what do you do with the Action? We've already made the distinction that Action Comics is the Clark Kent book, and Superman is the John Kent book.
Right.
What do we do with Action Comics if Clark Kent is dead? Is they going to cancel Action Comics? Literally been in print since 1938 or 39.
Well, and here's the other thing. We're making a massive assumption, even though like we've seen certain announcements or copy from announcements saying that they're going to be murdered, right? Mm-hmm. But we've got to. I have to assume that they're going to get sucked into some kind of black hole, non-existent realm.
Right.
And assumed to be gone forever. Right? That's the other, like, we're saying they're murdered, but
so maybe their stories still continue in their own books.
Like, yeah, like wherever they got sucked into. I mean, again, we won't know until we actually read the books, until we read the 2 tie-in alpha Free Comic Book Day tie-in books. But we're making assumptions, but I totally understand what you're saying about like, what is this going to do to continuity? I feel like already continuity is kind of wishy-washy, specifically with Superman and Son of, or in Action Comics, in league with Justice League. Like, to me, you know what I mean? And I know you explained it to me once, and I was like, I still don't understand it. Like, you've got Justice League and Batman showing up and Superman showing up. I was like, well, wait, he's over in Offworld. I was like, okay, it's happening at a different time. To me, that's the only thing that makes sense. But how long can that structure hold when you wipe the team off the map? You know what I mean?
Right. No, it can't. Which is like, when you have such a status quo change, you can't continue to just sit here and, again, if it's a story that's already continuing to something that's already started, especially like War World Saga, we've been doing this for almost a year. Mm-hmm. So like, okay, whatever. But I almost wonder if this is why they put Joshua Williamson on Batman book. We're gonna limp the Batman book to this event, and then once this event is over, maybe we don't have a Batman book until January 2023.
Whoa, that's like
maybe we only have Detective Comics, which is a Bat Family book.
That's
How long has it been since we've not had a Batman book? I don't know.
Tell us in the comments if anybody knows. Let us know, because we're completely new to this. I mean, is that out of the realm? Like, are we speaking, madness, blasphemy, that we're saying that there's gonna be no Batman book for?
There's nothing that's outside of the realm of possibility. I think it would be interesting if they see, this is what I've been thinking too, is it would be really cool if they, I don't know how you do it, switch or just like merge the books with whoever is going to take them while he's gone. So like, say Damian becomes Batman. I mean, I think that would be awful, but like, you say that the Robin book ends and then Batman, he takes over, and so like the Batman numbering stays the same, but now he's the Batman.
I don't like any of this. This just doesn't sound fun at all.
That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
And some of this stuff we don't have to worry about too much. We're not keeping up with like the Wonder Woman book. We kind of let Flash go by the side, even though the Flash is a Wally West book, not a Barry Allen book. So
here's the other thing. Let's just make an assumption here. So with this Crisis event, are we heading towards a massive reset of the DC universe again? Like that's what 5G was supposed to be, right? Mm-hmm. And then, it got canceled, or we got little waves of it, like ideas of it. Can we assume, are we going to say that after Dark Crisis, we're getting a new reset, everyone's back alive, everyone's been shifted back to their original positions? Or is it, quite literally a reset in the sense that old characters are gone and we are setting up new characters that we've been developing for a while and new ones that are, waiting in the wings?
I don't know. But the last 2 times that they did this were 2011 with New 52,
Hmm.
and then 2016 with Rebirth. So you've got a 5-year gap in between there. We're already at plus 5 years.
So it's probably coming.
With the ending of this being in 2023 and Rebirth being 2016, that's a 7-year gap. Maybe DC thinks it's time for another Crisis reboot. Here we go. I don't think we'll ever go as hardcore as New 52 did, where it's like, okay, this is for real, a new everything. If they did, here's my big bold statement. I would say I'll go ahead and just leave DC Comics alone for a while.
Whoa!
There's so much that I haven't read that I want to read about that's already happened. That like if they were to just do a total new reset 100% from the beginning, I will go, great, this is a great place for me to jump back in 3 to 4 years after I've read all the stuff from the past I want to read.
Wow.
And I'd be okay with it. So
I'm just
the only book
shocked.
the only book I'd pick up would be like a Joe Mulligan centered Green Lantern book or something. But
Unless she gets reset and she just never exists.
then DC can die.
All right, well, that is the breaking comic book news. DC obviously announcing Dark Crisis. Let us know in the comments, what do you think about this event? If you're not new to the Crisis events, are we way off? Are you looking forward to it? If DC did in fact reset everything like a New 52 or Rebirth, would you be on board with it? Would you not? I know we're kind of being speculative, but that's what we got to do on this channel. We got to take what we get and just see if we can throw some ideas out there. Maybe we'll get it right, and then you'll come back to this video and be like, damn, 2 fat guys, they called it. But let us know down in the comments, and as always, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, give us a like, and until the next breaking comic book news video, guys, read more comics. We'll see you later, fam.